Good morning, everybody, and this is your Dow Jones day trade setup for today. Okay, so a couple of things on the go. So this trend line that this weekly trend line that we looked at yesterday is still very much in play. We had a retest of it again. I think the important thing for me is that we have now got a proper crossover of the moving averages. You can see this, the last one is starting to happen now, so it'll probably finish its crossover today. And then we have a oscillator crossover as well. And look at the diversions here. So this is continuation diversions. So you can see there's a low, higher low, low, lower low. That's continuation diversions. Continuation in the direction we were going, which is up. So that is kind of what I would expect to happen. But it has been messy yesterday. It's typical of a Monday. Mondays are always messy unless there's some kind of news coming through. Now, this is where the confusion starts coming in, and I just want to draw this top in here. So you can see that's the area that we are sort of bumping our heads on at the moment, which is 34,908 or 34,900. And look at the oscillators. They are separated, and if they cross over like that, then you're expecting another move to the downside. That would validate a pretty big head and shoulders. So you can see you can use that as a shoulder, but I'd use this consolidation area as my shoulder. There's my head and there's my other shoulder. So you have this diagonal neckline, but for me, not really what I'd be looking at. I'd be looking at a horizontal, which would be this area here, 34,591. Break retest, that validates a head and shoulders to the downside, and more than likely going to test this zone here. Fairly close. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. If we come down to the hour, that's going to give you a fairly good picture of what is actually going on. So I look at the hour. We've got to cross over the moving averages, and we're in amongst. Sorry, we don't have a crossover the moving averages just yet. We are in amongst the moving averages, but we do have a crossover of the oscillators, and they're pointing down. This is bearish. This is confusion. So you've got multiple time frames, multiple signals on different signals on multiple time frames, and then you have multiple signals within the time frame, which are also confusing. So this is just a carry on of the confusion that's in the market at the moment. Yesterday was not a trading day. Look at that. I mean, this pin bar is significant, but it wasn't quite off a level. And then we didn't really get going. So for me, pullbacks are still, we should still be looking to buy pullbacks, but you still also need to be a little bit cautious. If we drop to the 15-minute, you'll see what I mean. And often when you're rounding, you can see low, lower, low, low. So that is an inverse head and shoulders, and the neckline is right here at 34,908. So a recapture of that and sort of building a base on that would definitely give you the opportunity for a long. The other thing that you need to bear in mind is yesterday we were below the 155 EMA, and you see how we tested it and then eventually broke through and came back to test it. Haven't quite tested it yet, so for me, the line in sand is right here, 34,908. I want to see a pullback, I want to see a rally and a move to the downside. So the way I'm going to actually play this is wait for the US Open. So if Europe rallies, it'll rally with Europe, or it'll move up with Europe. But when the US opens, it's more than likely going to come back to close this gap. So yes, it'll be closed on futures when you move past it, but the actual market would not be, there would still be a gap there, so that wouldn't act as a magnet. So you'd see price rally and then come back and test this area for a move up. But at the moment, even on the 50-minute, look at the consolidation here. Consolidation of moving averages. On the hour, consolidation of moving averages. That is a clear range scenario, and also consolidation scenario, but also potential news that we're waiting for somewhere along the line. Somebody knows something, which is why we are consolidating like this. Okay, so anyway, that kind of my view this morning. I think all the indexes are fairly interesting right now because they are poised, and my gut is it's kind of 50-50 at the moment, whether we are going to fall or whether we are going to rally. This inverse head and shoulders is telling. Pay attention to it, because it's pretty clear. There's your shoulder, head, shoulder. So break and retest to this area and start getting some structure. We're looking for a move up. What you may find on the hour is we just continue sideways and a little bit up and then down and then up and down, and just consolidate before a break based on some noise coming through. Or alternatively, it's just going to fail completely and we're going to come back to the bottom here and we're just going to form a big range. And that big range would also set a big inverse head, big head and shoulders, which there's the shoulder, there's the head, and this would be the shoulder. But that would mean we need to see a break below 34,591 for that to play out. So yeah, very interesting, all to play for. I think I would be very skeptical of just jumping in at the moment. This is not a short just yet. I'd want to see a break of these moving averages and a retest and then start rolling before considering a short on the 50-minute. And then on the higher time frame, similar kind of scenario. So if we do get above this and stay above the moving averages, then I'm looking for a update today, which I suspect that is what's going to happen by the looks of things. We should get some form of an update. Anyway, hope it helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.